Go.
Hi there, this is Neil Kilby and
Peter Schmitz.
yes, and we're talking about, we've been talking about over several videos about customer lifetime value, and we were talking about the 4 different levers or levers, depending where you come from. The first one is to that you can work out how much you can spend to get more customers, but putting that aside, the calculation for lifetime value is the spend, or in actual fact, it's the profit every time a customer comes to you. The frequency, which is how often it is before they come back to you. So some people might come to you once a week, some people might come to you once a month, and then there's retention, which is the total time that they actually come back. So in previous videos, we've spoken about increasing spend. The last video we talked about increasing the frequency with people, and what we want is for them to be habitually come to us whenever they think of the sort of product that we've got, or something that might be similar to that they want. So we want them to habitually come to us. And then the last figure is how long do they come with us? And the important bit is, that defines the long-term value of the business. That's what, that's not sure how much did we make this today or how much did we make this year. That is, what's the business worth? Okay. So Peter, we've talked about retention. You've got an example with one of your older clients that was a motor club.
Yeah, well, it's the one story with the motor club is a good story, and so the product, just to set the stage, Neil, for our business owners here, is that the product was a $50 annual membership to a motor club, right? If your car breaks down, they'll come out and fix your tire or tow you in, whatever. So we're all familiar with those kind of products, but it was $50 a year. And at the time we had an offer that was $1 for 3 months and then $9.95 a quarter. That was our winning offer. So it was a direct mail package way back when. And then the client always hated that offer because they didn't like to give away the first 3 months for $1. And I got it. But the regular price was $9.95 per quarter. So we did a test. We proposed a year-long test to find out which offer had the best retention, the best profitability at the end of the year. And surprisingly, the $1 for 3 months consistently had a 40% better response rate than the full price offer. Not a surprise, right? It's a better deal, right? Not a surprise. So the question would be, do we lose those people who are looking for a good deal, or because we have more of them in the pot, so to speak, do they last at the end of the year? And the answer was, and the client hated it, the $1 for 3 months won every year because there were more people in the pipeline and there were more left at the end of the year, which translates to more profitability, which was the name of the game.
Yeah.
But you'll never know, if it's profitable long term unless you go through some kind of test where you can measure, are they still a member? Are they still paying you, 6 months, a year, 2 years later?
Well, I think the very important bit about that example is that it's, and for most of our people who are watching here, is they don't have the historic information.
They don't. But if we're testing retention, you've got to, test it for long enough to know if you have a retention solution. Because if we lost everybody after 6 months, regardless of the offer, we're not going to be in business very long, right? No. I can't have churn. I had a client. This was the newspaper business. This was the LA Times, right? And we were doing campaigns to get new subscribers. They had like I want to say a couple dollars for 16 weeks. I met with one of the senior marketing guys, and he says their churn rate, literally, Neil, was 114%. And he wanted me to try to fix it. And I said, when they're giving away, I think it was 12 weeks for $1 or something like that. And unfortunately, they couldn't stop. People would buy it, quit, and join again.
Yeah.
And they had no way to police that. I said, you got to fix that problem. Yeah. Well, you're not alone. You're not alone. And this was during the days when newspapers were dying anyway. But when you have a churn rate, and they knew the number, which was good, but that's impossible to fix. They had to stop doing $1 for 12 weeks. And their bigger problem was this: if they didn't have a big enough subscriber base, they couldn't charge a higher price for their newspaper ads. It was all to drive advertising revenue, which made sense when you understand the total business. So that's a little different problem. So some of our business owners, the real question is, if you get a customer in for a really good deal, are they going to be around 6 months or a year?
I think the important bit, what you did there, was you said that you tested.
Yeah.
Okay. This is one of the important things. We're not here to completely change people's business models in one fell swoop and say that's it, that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, true.
With all of these things, we test and we look at the results and see what's happening. But the important factor is that we're looking to see what the lifetime value of a customer is. And that is the so with your newspapers, they get the newspaper, they pay once a quarter, and then if they're not there in 6 months, then, as you say, retention, you call it churn rate, retention's just the opposite. It's not how many you're losing, but how many you gain, how many you still have. No, it's very important things there that. What we're trying to do is retain a customer for as long as possible, and we only do that if we're good for the customer.
Well, that's true. The customer has to want what we have, whether it's a meal at a restaurant, a cup of coffee, or an online purchase at Amazon, right? We have to have what the customer is after. But in today's world, it's getting harder for business owners to keep that customer for a long period of time. There's a lot of competition in the world.
There is, but each solution is totally different for each individual business. There is no one size fits all. But the number one thing that we think that everything is about is price, but that's only if you're a commodity. And if you're a commodity, you've already lost the battle. You've got to be a brand and something that somebody values beyond just the initial price.
Well, I've always said that people, often forget the price they paid, but they will remember the way they were treated. And so creating a customer experience is far more valuable long-term than offering, heavy discounts. You don't want to be the discount price or a product if you can avoid it. That's not how Amazon built their business. They didn't build it on price. They built it on service.
On service, absolutely.
Without a doubt. I mean,
we all think Amazon is just because it's cheap, but we don't go anywhere else. We just go on Amazon and buy it. We don't go onto Amazon and then go Alibaba and somewhere else to try and find out where it was cheaper. We just go, what's the one on Amazon? I'll get it at Amazon.
Well, and what's the reason? Because I can get it in 2 days.
Yeah.
For free shipping. I mean, every time I buy.
Yeah.
This is Neil. This is my brother. This was a Saturday night. He ordered a kitchen pincher thing for the grill, 2 of them for $9.95. They were delivered on Sunday, the next day.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. He says to me, "How can they make money? They cannot make money on that kind of transaction." But they kept him as a customer probably forever.
As we've said previously, we want people to get into people's brain and treat us as the default person for that service or product. But ultimately, whatever the product is, there's a service attached to it, and that's the bit that separates us. So that's the bit which will keep somebody with us for. Well, my personal opinion is that there's no reason for anybody to leave unless you give them one.
True.
You should ultimately be looking to retain as many customers as far as possible.
Right. And so I would encourage our business owners to track customers by offer and by date, so that if I do an offer today and I tag the customers that come in from that offer, I can look back a year from now and say, did I have good retention from that offer or not? Did I make money in the long run or did I not? Because too many business owners get all excited about the upfront response, right? Did I make money today?
Yeah.
And yes, you want to make, I don't want to lose money today, but if I break even today and I make money in the long run because I've retained customers, it's a far better business model than
Well, you have a business.
yeah,
The other one is just an income and expenditure sheet for that day.
there you go.
We're trying to create an asset that's valuable, not just for the income that it produces, but as a business in itself. So, and this is where retention becomes the significant difference between. Well, I've got one customer who spends $50 rather than I've got $100 that spend 100 customers that spend $1. The guy with $100, 100 customers, isn't going to lose all of them all in one go.
Yeah, right.
Your $50 guy can go instantaneously just through bad surface. But ultimately, the retention is through the extra effort we put in, not just the product or the commodity as such that we think that we're servicing.
Good point. So
Okay.
yeah, we could talk about retention for a long time, but I think we got the point across that they need to pay attention to it, to measure it, so they know if they're a profitable long-term business.
Yeah, and more than anything else, it's thinking about it and thinking about how we go forward in trying to retain people. It's not a historic thing. It's about how do we do this moving forward. Our customers, my clients and yours, I know as well, are busy enough. They're not looking for something historic to do. They're trying to find something simple that works that they can use move forward with. And this is just one of those simple bits of information where they can go, how do we keep our customers satisfied? I feel like Simon Garfunkel. That was brilliant. Okay. That's both of us are so old that we remember.
Yeah, don't sing us a song.
Okay, well, that's great. As usual, guys, there's a button down below. If you just want to ask a question, you want to get in contact, you want to move forward, press that button. We'll get in contact. There's no problem. If you get bored of us sending you information, just don't subscribe. It's not an issue. And we'll catch up with you soon. This is Neil Kilby and
Peter Schmitz.
Thank you for your time, everyone.
Thank you.